What's up, y'all? Welcome to the NBA Weekly Postgame. This is where we share our views on the latest trending topics within the NBA. I'm Shy.
And I'm Yvette, and we have a lot to talk about.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, let's just start right here. Tell me who your player of the week is.
My player of the week is Russell Westbrook. Are you kidding me? First of all, he was snubbed from the All-Star game.
He was not.
He was snubbed. And since returning from the All-Star break, the Wizards are playing lights out. And it's all because of him and his energy. Russ averaging now 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 13 assists. And he did that against the Utah Jazz. Are you kidding me? Russell Westbrook is my player of the week.
Okay. All right. I can understand that. I can tell he's healthy. He feels good right now, and he's back to earning his triple doubles.
My guy, yes.
Yeah, but he wasn't snubbed. Okay, so anyway, my player of the week is none other than your number one MVP candidate for the 2021 season in Nikola Jokic.
Okay. Joker, he's putting in some work.
The Joker is putting in some work, even so that if he was not on the Denver Nuggets, they would not be where they are today, right? So right now he's averaging 26.9 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. He was recently added to the list of the second center to make 50 triple doubles alongside of Wilt Chamberlain. What?
Yeah.
As a center, he is changing the way centers should play in the league. So yes, we do have Rudy Gobert, who is a defensive genius, but Nikola Jokic puts a little bit more flair on that because he can make his way to the perimeter.
Yes,
he can shoot that 3 ball now, and he may not be as athletic. You should watch that video, but at the end of the day, he gets it done. And so Nikola Jokic, the Joker, my player of the week.
Oh, yeah, he is playing well. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. Somebody his size, killing it.
Wait, and he was drafted in the second round, 41st overall, to be exact.
Barely made it.
Barely. And if you didn't know about his history, he was drafted in 2014, but his first game wasn't until October of 2015. He didn't even play his first year. So sometimes sometimes you don't need a top 10. You better invest in the people that you do draft because you may have your superstar later on in the draft.
Diamond in the rough for sure.
Diamond in the rough.
Yeah. All right. So look, how serious are the Phoenix Suns? I mean, they were the second seed in the Western Conference. Looks like they dropped down. They were overtaken by the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, CP3, I think he's one of the best leaders in the entire NBA. How serious are the Suns? Are they for real this year?
The Suns are for real this year. And not only are they for real, I think people forgot that they actually were 8-0 in the NBA bubble 2020.
Behind Devin Booker, though.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Devin Booker, yes. But then to bring in Chris Paul as a compliment. Sometimes they bring in players and they don't compliment, right? They become a detriment to the team overall. But Chris Paul compliments Devin Booker and the rest of the team on the squad, on the roster. But not only that, they also have a nice depth. Please don't forget about that. It's almost as like the team was properly constructed for them now to go deep into the playoffs. So I don't think people were expecting the Phoenix Suns to even be in the top 6.
I know I wasn't.
Oh, I didn't have them on my list either. I didn't. No. They're almost like a sleeper team, right? And because they don't get enough national recognition, being a small market, see, that's what I'm talking about. The narrative is not that they are not great. It's just that they're not talked about enough. But I'm sorry. Chris Paul honestly needs to hold a point guard clinic. He just need to put one together. No, I'm saying maybe he can do a course online because they're very successful right now. People got courses all over the place. I think that's his post career. How does he do it? How does he do it?
They're playing amazing. You know what I really like is that they are outscoring all of their opponents by 6 points. There's a 6-point differential. So when you talk about CP3's leadership coupled with Devin Booker's awesome, amazing ability, and then you got Jae Crowder too, who's going to bring you that toughness. I think they might be serious this year. They're for real. I agree.
And thank you, Deandre Ayton, for figuring it out. Because earlier in the season, I was like, if they don't get him off the floor because he looks like he don't want no smoke
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the rim, that's even improved. And you know what's funny? We can't discount Mikal Bridges either. He's a nice, their core and their five starters have been playing together for quite some time. They've had a few hiccups where some people may have been out of the league because of injury, out of the roster because of injury. But for the most part, that starting five has been playing together a lot. So they've built a nice chemistry on how they are managing themselves on the floor. And I do believe they understand their roles individually.
Yeah. Shout out to Monty Williams. I'm so happy that he's leading this franchise right now.
He's doing an amazing job. And they just acquired Torrey Craig.
Oh, yeah, Torrey.
They just, and I didn't understand, like, why would they need Torrey Craig? But what's so funny about it, they acquired Torrey Craig with cash considerations. Like, we ain't really going to, trade nobody, but we'll pay you some money to get him. And when I was reading up on it, it indicated that they traded for him because they needed another big wing, because he's about 6'7", to be able to cover other big wings in the West.
See, they're already preparing. They're already moments ahead. They're already thinking about the playoffs.
Right. And not that Torrey Craig is going to bring in points. So then this leads me to believe that they're needing him for more defensive stops than anything. But to your point, they're like, let me think ahead. Who can we pull? And to be able to say, here comes some cash so we can get them. Because I'm not ready to adjust my particular roster or trade players on my roster yet. And they still may make some trades before the trade deadline. I just don't know. But they're not playing. They're not playing. And I don't think these teams are ready for them in a 7-game series. They're going to upset somebody in a 7-game series.
Absolutely. I believe it too. Wow. Okay. Can't wait to see it.
Okay. So on Twitter, there was this post that had a graphic of players, and it placed them in tiers. So those of you who are listening to this on the podcast, let me explain just the top 3 tiers and actually who's on it. And so the post in jest was like, is this breakdown of players correct? So in tier 1, the post had LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Nikola Jokic. And then in tier 2, it had KD,
Luka, Kyrie, Trae Young, AD, Harden, and Dame Lillard.
And then in tier 3, it had Giannis, Beal, Kawhi, Chris Paul, Paul George, Devin Booker, and Joel Embiid. And then, of course, tier 4 had a set of players, and then tier 5 had a set of players. So when looking at this particular graphic, I'm saying, how are you just going to have 3 people in tier 1? And then also, why is Nikola Jokic as a part of tier 1? Although I think he's balling, great player, but has he earned a tier 1 spot over Kawhi Leonard?
The answer is no. And that was my thought. Exactly. I was like, what? Okay, LeBron. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. Steph, absolutely. Both proven champions. But Jokic, no, not yet.
Not yet. And what was unclear in the graphic was, what is the basis of each tier? So then, of course, Eve need to put her own guidelines on what these tiers mean. So for me, if it's going to be a tier 1 graphic, if somebody's going to be in the top tier, which means they are, I guess, one of the best players in the league right now, I guess, if that's how you want to kind of name it. Well, LeBron and Curry, absolutely. But I'm sorry, Kawhi as well. And let me tell you why. Kawhi actually led a team to their first Western Conference title and their first championship. Likewise, Steph Curry led the Golden State Warriors to a conference title and their first NBA championship after I don't know how many year drought, because the Golden State Warriors, the last time they won a championship was in 1975. And now we're talking about Curry winning one in 2015. Right? So he changed the trajectory of the Golden State Warriors organization. And I mean, if you follow, everybody knows about LeBron, right? Cleveland, and then the Miami Heat, and then the Lakers. So you cannot put someone who has not won a championship, number one, in the top tier, right? Number one. And not only not having won a championship, but had led the team to the championship. That's different.
Right. Now, I'm more shocked by KD being on tier 2. There is no way Kevin Durant, again, a proven champion, should be on tier 2, along with Luka Doncic and Trae Young. Like, what? No, absolutely not.
I was on the fence with KD, and here's why. Proven champion, yes, but he jumped on the championship team. That's my only reason why tier 2 may be appropriate, but someone can argue different, and I can probably change my mind.
Okay.
Right? If for some reason he leads the Brooklyn Nets to a championship, tier 1 all day, solid tier 1. But right now, his championship wins was with Curry. With Curry. Yes. And so had he done it in OKC, then I'll say, oh yeah, you need to be on that list. So that's the only reason why, for me, someone can argue, and perhaps if they have a good enough reason that I believe can persuade me to move him to tier 1. But right now, I would keep him at tier 2 only because of that.
Okay. Is there any reason why Trae Young is on tier 2?
No. I have no explanation for that. As a matter of fact, Trae Young, fine player, tier 4 at best.
Tier 4 for sure. Absolutely. You know, as I'm looking at tier 2, I'm good. And Luka Doncic, no, tier 4 as well.
Luka tier 4?
Yeah, Luka tier 4. Because if I'm looking at tier 3, there's nobody that I would move. Tier 3 has the Greek Freak, Bradley Beal, Kawhi, CP3, Paul George, Booker, and Embiid.
I will move Kawhi to tier 1. I would move Kawhi to tier 1.
Tier 1?
Yes.
No.
Yes, he may not be as likable, but he has been proven. Let me tell you what he did in Toronto. Please stop discounting that. And I don't care if people got injured on Golden State Warriors on why they won. People get injured all the time. Right. And as a matter of fact, if we're talking about somebody being injured, then we shouldn't be counting LeBron James's win with the Lakers, because from my understanding, I see people call that the Mickey Mouse Award. So we can do this with all different championships that some of these players have helped lead organizations to. So that's why I say just put him on tier 1. What he did for Toronto was amazing.
It was amazing. And you know, it looks like he might be trying to do that with the Clippers too. But until he does that, for me, tier 3 is fine.
Not even tier 2?
Not really. Okay. Not really. Okay. Not really. Okay, so we did not talk about tier 4 at all. So let me just tell you guys who's on tier 4. Donovan Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Karl Anthony Towns, Jason Tatum, and Jimmy Butler. If I'm telling you, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can be a tier 4, there's no reason why Trae Young is on tier 2.
None. Zero. None. So again, until I understand whoever created this graphic can explain where their reasoning is for each tier, I'm left to deduct what I believe it should be. And yes, Trae Young, tier 4 at best.
Exactly. Okay, so the final tier has Zion Williamson, Klay Thompson, which is a shock, proven champion, Mike Conley, Jamal Murray, your boy Kyle Lowry, Brandon Ingram, and Ben Simmons. Are you okay with tier 5?
You could potentially argue to bring Klay up to maybe tier 3.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yes, but other than that, I'm okay with everybody else. I'm just surprised Mike Conley is showing up. That's interesting, but okay. I'm not.
I'm more shocked by Ben Simmons being on the final tier.
Where would you put him?
At least tier 4. Oh, Zach LaVine on tier 4? No, thank you. Ben Simmons, please.
Where's Julius Randle?
He's not on there. Mm-hmm. I don't see Jaylen Brown. I don't see Ja Morant. If Shai Gilgeous and Trae can make this list,
absolutely,
I need Ja Morant.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes. Giannis, tier 3.
Giannis can't make it deep into the Eastern Conference playoffs. So
he can show look good individually.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Okay. James Harden, tier 2. Is there an
argument? James jumped on the championship train.
He did. Is there an argument to put James Harden into tier 1? There
is no argument. If we're looking at his entire career, he's playing great this year, but he jumped on the championship train. So no.
Okay. Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Wow. Drop down in the comments, or, if you're listening to it on the podcast, share with us your thoughts about at least tier 1. And if you think there's someone that's missing from it. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and drop down and, let us know what you think about this tier system of the current NBA players.
Okay, so Paul George has been doing a lot of complaining lately, and rightfully so. He feels like the referees aren't giving him his respect on the court by calling all of these little ticky-tack fouls. Does he need to toughen up, or does he have a righteous argument that the refs are overlooking his fouls?
I think he has a righteous argument. It is only fair that if he is stating his concerns about fouls being called, that the league needs to look into it if they consider him a star, and I think they do, right? However, maybe what he should have done was had his organization send a letter to the NBA, because that's what LeBron James did in the previous season. So he can avoid on getting fined. There was just a letter. So maybe that's what the Clippers need to do to help save the narrative that's currently surfacing around Paul George again. If he feels that way, have someone on the Clippers analytics team look to see if it's valid, submit a letter to Silver, and then have them do it, and then have it come out that way. But at the end of the day, if you publicly criticize the referees, you will be fined. And this is not his first time being fined.
I think he's trying to strong arm the league, and he's setting up his narrative, preparing for the playoffs, because we all know he did not perform well last year's playoffs. And that's still lingering. And until he can show us something different, that's just what it's going to be. And I don't think he gets the respect. I don't know that he deserves it right now either. I don't know. I'm not a Paul George fan. And until he can show me otherwise, he just looks like a complainer to me. And I'm glad the league fined him for $35,000.
I mean, I think that think that he is on a team that the league does not like. What? People, they don't like the Clippers. No.
The league does not like?
Nah.
What?
Okay, maybe not the league, but there is a set of fans, basketball fans, that do not like the Clippers. Now, we may not be people may not be fond of other teams, but they do not like the Clippers, because the Clippers are said to be the little brothers of the Lakers. The Clippers are said to be in the basement of the Staples Center. The Clippers this and the Clippers that. So anytime someone from the Clippers speak out about anything, it's going to be taken negatively, right? So what I'm saying, Clippers front office, follow the lead of other teams who do not have their players speak out, but they send letters. They have somebody outside of the league, maybe a spokesperson or someone who's covering them that's a beat writer, cover the topic. That's all I'm saying. Y'all got to be smart in how you get your complaints out, and don't put it to your players to do so, because they get fined and it doesn't look good. And I can tell you right now, Paul George don't need anything else on his list of things that people want to talk about him about. He just don't need it.
Well, I can tell you somebody who does not need anything for people to talk about, and that's Jared Dudley.
Who?
If you guys do not know, Jared Dudley tore his MCL. The question remains, how? It wasn't during the game, was it? Like, what happened?
Was he getting up out of his chair on the sideline? What was it? And why did it become news?
That's a good question. They should only be reporting on players.
Actual players that get in the game. And then, they ate him up on Twitter. The comments were comical. I tell you, I got my entire life on the comments about Jared Dudley.
Poor Jared.
Tearing his MCL. And then he's so slick. He said he's not going to get the surgery. No, because you don't want to get cut. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. You're like, no, I'm just going to be on the sideline. Oh, you don't want to go through what Cousins went through? Got it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. All right. So
all right, y'all. That's all we got. And until next time, bye.
Peace out.